Okay, you got a homeless guy that ended up being the person that died. That was found in the river, in the Carlsbad River, right? Now, Dick laughed about that. He thought it was funny. I'm not going in on you, Dick. I'm not going in on you, Dick.
Still, I mean,
you laughed though.
Rob's not here, so you gotta.
Well, I'm not going in on you, Dick, but going in on you. No, you laughed at the homeless person.
No, just Larry's comment about it though.
What comment did he make?
I don't remember.
Exactly. You laughed at the homeless person. But what we don't realize that homeless person was a actual person. His wife committed suicide in 1987. She shot herself in the head because she thought that he was cheating. He used to own Texaco out here. You remember Texaco? Well, he used to own Texaco before they sold it to ConocoPhillips in 1997. But anyway, and he was a successful person. But one day he wanted to knit his wife a sweater, and the woman who was making the sweater for him was the same build as his wife, right? She had the same build. So his wife came home early from work and looked in the window as she was passing by and noticed the woman taking off her shirt to put on the sweater that hasn't yet been tailored for the gift. So she didn't even get to see the rest of it. She just automatically assumed from looking through the window that they were getting ready to have sex, when in actuality they wasn't. That person was just knitting a sweater. So she goes to the pawn shop and she gets a .38 special along with the ammo. And she goes out to the parking lot and she shoots herself. Okay? Now, he doesn't know the reason why she shot herself. All he knows is that she shot herself. She didn't leave any notes. She didn't leave any clues. The only thing she left was her brains on the window of the vehicle that she was in outside of the pawn shop. So he, especially with him loving her still, and his last gesture, of course, because of her dying, was giving her this sweater that he had made, especially for her, goes into this depression. And he no longer wants to be the owner of Texaco. He no longer wants to take care of his kids. He no longer wants to go on living. So he ends up being homeless, right? And while being homeless, he gets strung out on drugs. A guy from El Paso hooks him up with a bad batch of drugs because they were like testing it to see how potent the drugs actually were before they sold it on the market, the street, right? And the batch that they gave him, his body had an imbalance to it, and he ended up going into like this convulsions. Now, they're not going to take a homeless person to the hospital because not only are you incriminating yourself as being a drug dealer, but you're also could be possibly taking care of someone that nobody else like Dick would give a fuck about, right?
Right.
Come to find out, this was an actual person that they ended up throwing in the river 17 days ago, thinking that he was just going to drop because of the concrete, the rope. They had a rope connected to a concrete bucket, and they thought that he was going to sink. Well, because of the jagged edges that are down there, one of the rocks got caught onto the ropes, and as the current, because y'all open up the floodgates every once in a while and let that water kind of flow through, right? Well, it was kind of like like a knife on those jagged edges of the ropes. So when it cut loose, the bucket stays, the rope ends up just coming off of his foot, so we can't tell anything from that. And he just kind of drifts on down. And with all the activity going on the 4th of July, nobody noticed his body just washed up. They probably just think it's like a passed out person or something like that. But in turn, that next morning when people go in to clean up, because of the 4th of July festivities, that's when they find out that we have a homeless body. And that's the story of the homeless man.